Language is such an interesting phenomenon that it can be used in a multiplicity of ways to achieve various goals. We can decide to use language in a straightforward manner to clearly pass across a message, ask a question, or even issue an instruction. We can also choose to play around with words to perform those exact functions without stating them explicitly, in which case we can be sarcastic or politely condescending. This brings us to the concept of direct and indirect speech acts in pragmatics. What are direct speech acts? Direct speech acts refer to the conventional ways of using language to achieve various goals. Remember that speech act is a concept in pragmatics that is based on the notion that whenever we speak, we perform various tasks or actions with language, and we do not just use language in a vacuum. So direct speech acts are simply the use of language in a more generally acceptable manner for different purposes. Take for instance, when a teacher issues an instruction to a student. Teacher: "Hey Matthew, stand up." Matthew: "Yes ma'am." Stands up. In the conversation above, the teacher makes use of direct speech because there is only one interpretation for her instruction, and her message clearly reveals her intention to the student. The teacher made use of an imperative sentence to issue a directive without implying anything else. Direct speech acts have only one interpretation for their proposition, which is what they state explicitly, without having an underlying or secondary meaning attached to them. What are indirect speech acts? Indirect speech acts, on the other hand, refer to the ways we use language to achieve certain goals without making our intentions explicit. That is, the use of language to achieve certain actions without categorically stating what we intend to achieve with it. Take for instance, a mother says to her son who just got back from school but didn't shut the doors, "Mother, did you meet the doors open when you walked in?" Son closes the doors. In the conversation above, the utterance of the mother appears to be a question at face value. However, a closer observation of the context in which she asked the question would reveal that she was not trying to get an answer to her question. Rather, she was indirectly ordering her son to go and shut the doors the way he met them when he got back from school. Their mother's utterance was delivered in the form of an interrogative sentence. However, her intention was an imperative sentence: "Go and lock the doors," which we see in the son's closing of the doors without giving a verbal response. In indirect speech acts, interrogative sentences may be used to imply a command as used in the conversation above. Declarative sentences can be used to imply a polite request. For instance, a boy leaving for school tells his father, "Dad, I've run out of pencils." The child used a declarative which would appear as a simple statement on surface level, but when the context of the utterance is examined, it would be discovered that the child was indirectly asking his father for more pencils. So both direct and indirect speech acts offer us ways in which we can use language to achieve different goals. While direct speech acts are concerned with the explicit use of language to achieve different objectives, indirect speech acts are concerned with the implicit use of language, meaning that they entail the use of language to achieve different goals without explicitly stating the intentions of the speaker are, but those intentions can be understood by the audience from the context of the conversation. Understanding direct and indirect speech acts will better inform you on how to use language depending on your needs, which can be influenced by the situation, such as a formal context or an informal context. See you soon.